It's such an exciting opportunity to be bringing these costumes in because I think it will help fans of the show understand that the same sort of stories were happening in America and happening right here on Biltmore Estate. Also, to be having the costumes in a place where you're seeing them in a domestic setting, though it's a rather large domestic setting, but where you're seeing them where in the spaces that they would have been worn. It's a really exciting thing. I think costumes are really an interesting part of every series, and in Downton Abbey they really play a supporting role. They're so well designed, reflect the storyline that's happening, really reflect the times. And so to see them close up, to see the details, to see the beautiful lace and some of these more interesting lines that we don't really have in our clothing today, it's just fascinating. They're very authentic to Biltmore, to the time period. So the house was opened in 1895, was running very much as a home through the 30s, and this is exactly the same time period as Downton Abbey. It starts just after Titanic, so during the Edwardian era, fashions are sort of shifting, so it's so interesting to see what people would have been wearing in the house, what guests, when they got off the train, came up a carriage, came up to the front, what they would have been wearing, what they would have been wearing when some of the first motor cars came onto the estate. And I think it will really give guests an opportunity to see all of that, and really a change in our interpretation. We're looking, typically we tell earlier stories, and because Downton Abbey runs from right now, the 1912, 1914 through the 20s, we're really looking into our archives, looking back at some of our stories from that time period and bringing them forward. So that's really exciting. It's everything from sort of tea gowns, what you would have been wearing when you were traveling, the chauffeur's costume, which is really interesting, the dress that Mary was wearing for the engagement, which is really exciting. My favorite really are some of Violet's costumes, that great purple with black lace costume that so epitomizes her character. I think we'll have that. Many of the men's formal wear. It's just really a range and really exciting. So many of the same things that the characters struggle with in terms of preserving the estate and making it sustainable, that has always been a part of Biltmore's plan, and in fact sort of groundbreaking. George Vanderbilt was doing that in 1895, where the Crawleys are trying to figure it out in the 1920s. Right. But just like any business, it's always a struggle. So when you see what they're wearing to go out looking at their farms, what they're wearing when they have guests out hunting, it's exactly what was happening.